Hey, how's it going? And welcome to Whisky Wins with me, Stuart. Before we get in this video, just want to shout out to my Patreons over on Patreon. If you want to join, if you want to contribute, the link's in the bio. I usually do a 10-second shout out type thing at the end of the video as a little credit as to everyone who's involved in that. So thanks for that and thanks for being involved and contributing. But anyway, down to what we've got today. We've got Smokehead Rum Rebel. It's 46% ABV. I don't think it's chill filtered, and I don't think it's got any added colouring. It does come with a tin, a sleeve, but I've removed it and just display the bottle itself. £50 on websites like Master of the Malt, and £58 on the Ian Macleod website itself, the Smokehead website. What else we got to say? Yeah, so I had the Sherrybomb, Smokehead Sherrybomb last year. I'm pretty sure I gave it a Whisky Win, really enjoyed it. This is... So the Sherrybomb is obviously sherry. This is rum cask finish, and like I said, oh, my tinsel's about to fall on my head. The tape isn't holding, so we'll just, I suppose it's going to fall. Well, hey, there we go. So yeah, there's tinsel. We've got the house decorated. We had it decorated quite early. Anyway, yeah, £50, non-chill filtered. I'm pretty sure, no added colouring. We'll just get down to it. We'll get down to the nose, the palate, and the finish. And if you're new here, how I rate my whiskey is, would I buy it again? Do I think it's worth it? And would I recommend it? If it at least gets 2 out of 3, it's a Whisky Win. If it only gets 1 out of 3, then it's a Whisky Bin. So we'll see how this goes. Yeah, it's peated for sure. It is a peated jam. Quite smoky, quite, it's like typical, it's like a typical Kalila in a sense. Off the nose, I'd guess this is Kalila. It's not like an Ardbeg, it's not like a Lagavulin, it's not that peated, but still got a little peat punch. But it's got this kind of bacon, let's say, it is a little kind of tickly on the throat, a little bit of the alcoholic strength coming through, even though it's only 46%. But yeah, when I'm breathing that right in, it does give my throat a little kick. So go to the top of the glass. I think it's quite young, whatever it is. It seems quite metallic in a sense, if that makes sense. Yeah, it's a little metallic. A little grassy, wet grass, those usual kind of young elements. Not really acidic or anything, but yeah, the metallic. I've not really had this in much whiskies, a metallic sense. I've had like copper, I think I've had iron before, like on almost like a steak, a blood smell. But this is just kind of, I don't know what, this is like a typical metallic smell. It's not bad, but it makes it seem quite a young whiskey. I'm just trying to see the legs. The legs, I mean, are long, quite thin. Yeah, bacon. I'm trying to think if there's any sweetness there. It's not really a sweet dram. Very overpowering with the grassy metallic element. But yeah, a little bit of bacon, a little bit of like bacon rashers. Am I getting anything else in the nose? I don't think I'm getting much rum. I'm a bit disappointed that tinsel didn't hold up. I don't think I'm getting much rum on the nose. It does say a finish, so it'd be interesting to know how long it was finished for. Hopefully that's evident in the palate, the rum. But yeah, maybe a little menthol, a little mint or something like that. But that's all I'm really getting on the nose. It's too fresh, or not fresh, but it's too young, too kind of vibrant for me. It doesn't feel, does it come together? It doesn't feel very well married in a sense. It just seems to be, yeah, young. Not even bold, not even like vibrant, just fresh kind of. We kind of know what that young element is, not really spirity, but just a little lacking, I'd say, a little, yeah, young. The palate, It's watery, but there's a little bit. I'll try and get go from the start, chronological order. I was about to just say what came to my palate there. But initially there was again a little metallic note, but there was peat. Yeah, there's metal. It's like licking metal. It's straight away on the tongue. There's like a metallic sensation, metallic flavour. But there is peat. There's a nice kind of peat cross between soot and peat, like a chimney, kind of chimney soot. A little bit of chocolate came through, and that's what I was about to initially start with, but I thought I'd go chronological. Anyway, my head's just running. It's like a chocolate flapjack kind of oat element, chocolate oats. Yeah, just chocolate oaty. If you made like porridge, and not even porridge because it's not even like creamy. It's not even. Yeah, it's more just like flapjack. We'll just stick with that. It's more like a chocolate oat. It's not even as sweet as a flapjack. All I'm trying to think is just if you had rolled oats or oats that you make porridge with, and they were just made to be like chocolate. I don't even know if you get that, like chocolate porridge prior to it being porridge. Chocolate oats. Do you get chocolate oats? That's what it tastes like. Chocolate oats. There's a little iodine, which isn't too much, so it doesn't make me think that it's like Lagavulin or something like that, or Lafroig. I think this is a Caol with independent bottlers. Caol is probably a good guess, probably an educated guess, but this it's not the best Caol if it is Caol, but it smells like Caol. It doesn't really taste too much like Caol, but it doesn't taste like any of the other Islay whiskies, and I don't know if I said this, but it is an Islay whiskey. It's an Islay single malt, so I wouldn't be able to say it's any others. Like the strongest connection I'd get with this is Caol. It's terribly thin in the palate, unfortunately. Some wood coming through there as well. Yeah, a lot of wood. I don't feel like I'm getting a lot of rum. I like rum influenced whiskies. I like the rum element. It feels like, I feel like rum brings a lot to the table. But this just doesn't seem to have taken any of the rum characteristics. This reminds me of, I've not reviewed it, but I have had a few drams of it from Stevie's collection. It almost reminds me of the Ardbeg drum. It's nothing like Ardbeg, but the lacking element of it. The Ardbeg drum was, I'm not sure if it was finished in rum or if it was fully matured in rum, but the rum element did not come across at all, and it was just Ardbeg. It was just an Ardbeg whiskey with maybe a little bit difference, but nothing. This is what this is like. It's just a peated Islay whiskey, very generic, but no rum characteristics there. I had I think it was a Long Row 18, the 2016 version, and I think that had some rum in it. Oh no, yeah, I think it was that. I'm just trying to think. And it was pretty good. Same with like the Springbank 15 Rumwood, that had a lot of nice rum characteristics there. I'm not trying to just obviously preach about Janie Mitchell, but they were better. This I don't know if this rum cask selection or what, or it's probably a bad cask, or if it's not had a lot of time to soak up the rum, or possibly not been finished for long. It might be a 3-month finish, a 6, but I don't know how long the finish is. It doesn't state it, but it's very thin, watery. It's not oily like a normal kind of peated Islay dram that you get. You get a nice brininess with some of the whiskies, and it gives you a nice coat and mouthfeel. This just seems to kind of dissipate quite quick. The finish in that sense, the finish is still lingering as I speak, but it's the peat that's carrying it. The whiskey itself, yeah, obviously it's the whiskey, but it's the peat that's really carrying this finish. I'd like to say it's medium because all the other flavours disappear and you're just left with peat, but we'll say medium to long because the peat's continuous. What else have we got in the finish? There is like a saltiness in the finish. There is like a little kind of sea salt, maybe possibly a little bit of sweetness, very vague, very almost like a hazy dream, imagine, of sea salted caramel. It's not strong, it's not bold with sea salted caramel, but it's like a dream you've just woken up from. You can't exactly remember what the dream was about, but you remember little glimpses of it. That's what that's like. It's like sea salted caramel. You can't really taste it, but you're just getting glimpses of it. I hope that was a good analogy. I'll read a little bit of the bottle, see what it says here. This Islay Rebel meets a rum cask cousin and a rush of explosive flavour, bursting with fiery peat smoke, burnt marshmallows. I didn't really get a lot of sweetness on the palate, maybe just the chocolate, but I got more sweet on the finish, and softened with caramelised fruit, an epic taste adventure. That was one thing I didn't pick up much on, was the fruit. I mean, there's possibly citrus there just to go along with Islay characteristics like Ardbeg and that. There's possibly some citrus there, but I didn't pick it up. I didn't think it was pungent enough to mention if it was there. What I have mentioned is what I've experienced. So would I buy this again? No, I would rather the Sherrybomb. I prefer the Sherrybomb, which is quite funny because I've been kind of moving away from sherry and trying different finishes and a lot, but I would rather the Sherrybomb. So I know I shouldn't compare, but it's hard not to. Two different whiskies, although they're same distillery or same company. But yeah, I wouldn't buy it again. Do I think it's worth £50? No, I don't think it's worth £50. It's just a bit, it's a bit thin. You can pick up so much more other whiskies, and I'll give you one example, because every every reviewer says things like this. Oh, you can pick up a better whiskey for cheaper. You can pick up better whiskies, but I'll just give you two examples if you're wanting like a peated kind of. It's not rum, unfortunately, but if you wanted like a peated night or a peated occasion, I've got two whiskies in particular. The first one's this AD Rattery Stocia 6-year-old, only 6-year-old, really young, cask strength though, and it was £45. Lovely peated whiskey, lovely flavours in there, creamy, buttery, it's like buttery peat. It's just amazing. And another Stocia, Bunnahabhain, they're heavily peated or peated Bunnahabhain. I think that's 30 to 35 ppm. But this was £35, £45. This is 2013. I can't remember what age this is. I think this might be 9 or 11-year-old. This isn't. I know I've went completely on a tangent here. No, it's 7-year-old. So you've got a 6-year-old and a 7-year-old. I know I've went on a tangent from this review, but I would much rather have these two if I wanted like a peat experience. And the mouthfeels you get from these, 46% ABV, which is the same as this, and cask strength. The mouthfeel's really oily, briny, and just what I want from a peated whiskey. I want that feeling. This is just too watery for me, and it doesn't really equate to the price. So yeah, would I recommend it? I think it's possibly, as I just put these whiskey back, I think it's possibly worth a try. Maybe you should try it. You might enjoy it more. It's hard to say you shouldn't try a whiskey. There's some that I will say that you shouldn't try, but I think you should maybe try it at least, make up your own mind. But I just feel like the rum's not there, and yeah, like I said, it's a lacking whiskey. It's thin. The Sherrybomb for me is the better of the two. So I think it's a whiskey bin. It's definitely a whiskey bin. I hope it's not been too negative of you. Like I've said this a million times every time I do a whiskey bin, or every time I do a negative review or talk about a kind of negative discussion. I don't like doing them. It's not exactly enjoyable. It's not enjoyable for me tasting them, and it's not enjoyable. It's just not a nice thing, I suppose. But I have to be honest. I have to say what I think, really. So yeah, thanks for watching. I've been Stuart. This has been Whisky Wins. I'll see you later.